To find the y-intercept, you let x equal 0 and then solve for y. So this is going to 0 out the first term, plus 18 is just going to be 18. If you have to write it as a point, it would be 0, 18, because you would let x equal 0, the y is 18. To find the x-intercept, you let y equal 0, and then try to factor it. Now this one only has 2 terms in it, so I'm looking to see, is there a common term that can be factored out? And you can take out a -2. You're left with x squared and then a minus 9. The x squared minus 9 is the difference of 2 squares. So I can factor an x plus 3 times x minus 3 to get the x squared minus 9 back. The middle term will cancel out. Set each factor that has an x in it equal to 0, and then solve for x. So we have 2 x-intercepts, one here at x equals 3 and one at x equals -3. -2 doesn't have an x in it, so I can't set -2 equal to 0. This, remember, is a stretch and a flip, but it has nothing to do with the x-intercepts. So your 2 x-intercepts would be at 3, 0 or -3, 0. For this last problem, y-intercept, let x be 0. And again, you're just zeroing out the terms that have the x's in it, and you're left with just the constant. So this has an intercept of 0, 5. For the x-intercept, we're going to let y equal 0. There's no number in common that you can factor out of all 3 terms. And it's a little bit more challenging because now you've got the 3 in front. So you can't say what multiplies to 5 but adds to -8, because the 3 is going to throw it. So I'm going to show you this little, I don't want to call it a trick, but something that I've used in the past to get rid of the 3 in front. I'm going to multiply 3 times the last number. So bring down the x squared minus 8x plus 15 now. Multiply 3 times 5. Now I can say what multiplies to 15 but adds to -8. So a -5 times -3 and a -5 plus -3 are my numbers that I'm looking at. So I have 0 equals x minus 5, x minus 3. But the problem is if I FOIL this out, I'm not going to get back 3x squared. X times x is just x squared. So to undo what I did, I multiplied. So now I'm going to need to divide each of these numbers by 3 and reduce them down. So notice the 5/3 doesn't reduce down. I'm going to move the 3 up in front of the x because I couldn't reduce that fraction down. 3 over 3, though, does reduce. Now if I FOIL this out, I will get back the 3x squared, 3x times x. A -5 times -1 is +5. And -5x times -3x adds up to the -8x. So a -5x plus a -3x gave me the middle term of -8x. Now set each factor equal to 0, solve for x. And when I do that, add 5 to both sides, divide by 3, and one of my x-intercepts is at 5/3. The other one is going to be a +1. So again, it's 1, 0, or 5/3, 0. I only need to do this little trick, I guess, if that number in front of x squared is not the number 1. If it is 1, then I can just go through and do this little, what multiplies to the last number but adds to the middle. But if there's a number in front, you have to get it to 1 first before you can do this box thing. But then the trick is whatever you multiply, you've got to divide by and simplify before you can, go on to your answer.